Welcome, MapleCreature, to the
Thank you.
show. So good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah. So how have you been? How's everything going?
I've been good.
Yeah.
Life has been crazy.
Yeah.
I mostly just I work from home and I stream and I don't go outside and that's about it.
Me too,
But it's
actually.
been yeah, yeah.
So if you were to talk about MapleCreature and what the Twitch channel is, what how would you describe that to someone who hasn't heard of the channel, doesn't know a whole lot about MapleCreature? How would you describe you and your channel?
Well, do they know about Twitch?
They Let's assume they know about Twitch.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
My I am a variety streamer. I do a variety of games and other kind of content. I also do a podcast sort of thing on Sundays where we read chapters of Lord of the Rings. Well, we don't like read them on stream because that'd be like copyright, but we read them in our own private time. Then we come together to discuss the chapter. We've been doing that for like over a year, and we're all the way into Return of the King, chapter 7 now. So we're about to be discussing that tomorrow. Um, so besides that other variety of content, we also do video games,
Mhm.
a plethora of video games. I quite like RPGs, but I've also been expanding my horizons. I've been doing some bullet hells lately. Oh my gosh, it's
Oh,
it's
that's
crazy.
awesome.
Um, and I also have a big focus on community. So we even have an entire day of the week specifically for community games and playing games and interacting with you guys. So yeah.
Excellent. So, variety streaming,
Mhm.
different kinds of games, community nights. You also build Lego as
Yes,
well.
I'm not good at plugging myself. I do Lego on Wednesdays as well.
You do Lego on Wednesdays, and then community
Yes.
nights are what day?
Fridays.
Fridays. Okay, excellent. So, a whole bunch of different things, which is really awesome. And this show is it does feature a lot of brick builders, which is kind of the goal. But definitely the fact that you are a variety streamer is really awesome too, right? And so that said, uh, which came first? I imagine it was Twitch versus Lego,
Yes.
right?
Twitch came first. The egg came first. Streaming on Twitch. And like, do you want the origin story about how I
Yeah,
got streaming Lego on
let's.
Twitch?
I would love to get the first origin story of you getting to Twitch.
The first origin. Okay, sure.
Let's go there.
It was pandemic times of September 2020,
Mm.
and I had found myself in a rut of just working from home
Mm-hmm.
and nothing else. I'd be so tired at the end of the day, I didn't want to do anything, so I would just lay on the couch and watch TV or just sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And it would repeat that. That was the way from March until September, and it was not good. It wasn't healthy. I wasn't doing things like I had all this free time, but like I don't know, like not even free time. It was just time that I was exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided that I wanted to like force myself to start playing some of the games in my ridiculously large back catalog of games that I have. Um, and to force myself to do that, I wanted to hold myself accountable because I've tried doing this before. I tried, you know, playing games. I was so bad at finishing them. I would start games, I would never finish them.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to hold myself accountable and actually finish them. So I wanted to start streaming. So I would have, even if nobody was watching, I would at least know that I was trying to finish games and maybe somebody would watch. Maybe just some friends or some family would help me keep myself and hold myself accountable to finishing so many games. And that's where it started.
That's really cool to hear. I think that and I've actually heard this a couple times before, like from other streamers, where it's
Mhm.
like if I do it live, then I'm holding myself accountable, as
Yeah.
is the community, because they're like, hey, what happened to that game, right? So pandemic happens, you start streaming. What kind of made you decide to like kind of keep going? Because if you're going, you went in fresh and then you started
Mhm.
streaming. What got you to keep going?
I really just fell in love with, for one, I know it sounds silly, but accomplishing something.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the end of a stream or at the end of a game, I felt like I accomplished something. I
Mhm.
did something with my day other than just working and sleeping and like doing the bare minimum. I was actually doing something, and I fell in love with the hobby of it as well.
Mhm.
It just it was really fun. And then I started meeting people, and I
Yeah.
started falling in love with so many amazing people, making connections that I never thought I ever would before. And just it has been phenomenal. And I would not be doing this without all the people that are just so kind and incredibly caring, and like that I got to meet because of this. Like I probably would have given up on holding myself accountable if I hadn't found a whole bunch of people who wanted to come by and see what I was doing.
That's that's incredible. I'm so glad that you decide to take that time and just kind of throw yourself into streaming, because I can imagine it's one of those. Um, we talk about nerves a little bit, before this whole thing, and hitting that start streaming button is always, I think, especially if you're brand new to it, a little nerve wracking. Um, but I'm glad that you were starting to meet so many people that you decide to keep doing it and doing it. So then, how does Lego kind of fit into this whole equation?
Yeah. So I've been a variety streamer for I think like a year before I started picking up Lego.
Hmm.
And the reason why was because I mean I had built Lego before in my home life.
Hmm.
um it was kind of always been more of a separate thing. Like it wasn't always something that I was really passionate about because I
Hmm.
never really had access to it as a kid. Um I was a girl child, and obviously Lego are for boys. So that wasn't something that I ever looked for or asked for. And the only time that I ever did ask for Lego and getting into that was after the Hobbit movies came out.
Yeah.
And the because I'm obsessed with Lord of the Rings.
Hmm.
They had a Hobbit house bag end. So for my birthday, I asked my parents, pretty please, could I please have this? This is the one thing that I want. And they're like, it's just plastic. What are you going to do with it? Build it and then what? And I kept it and I still have it. I don't know if I can. It's right here.
Oh, how long ago was that?
That was
Roughly.
2012,
Yeah.
2013, like when the movies came out. The
Right.
Hobbit films. When did those release?
I think it was right around that time. I couldn't remember the
Mhm.
exact year, but that's amazing. And you still have it.
Yeah.
Lord of the
And I
Rings.
recently I recently even like rebuilt it on stream because I wanted to rehab that experience. So I unbuilt it and then we rebuilt it together. It
Yeah.
was great.
Can we touch upon your love for Lord of the Rings briefly?
Of
Or not
course.
or not briefly? Is what Can you tell me about that? Like
Yes.
what got you into Lord of the Rings? Or what about Lord of the Rings do you love?
That is a deep question. What about Lord of the Rings do I love? I love the world building. I love how intricate and detailed the world feels so real.
Mm.
Tolkien started out as a philologist, which is a studier of language, and he made a language, and he wanted to make a reason for that language to exist, and so he
Yeah.
built the entire world and the stories. And I fell in love with the characters. I absolutely love hobbits so much. Like obviously,
Yeah.
as a kid growing up, you're like, oh man, I wish I could be a cool, awesome elf
Yeah.
and live forever and be glorious. Humans are so dumb. Oh my God. But then you grow up and you realize, no,
Yeah.
the best thing to be is a hobbit that just gets to live in a beautiful community and enjoy food and drink and the company of others above like hordes of wealth and just, it just makes me happy.
Yeah. Now with was this love before The Hobbit, or
Mhm.
yeah. So most of your life, I imagine.
Yeah.
That's so
Uh,
awesome.
I one of the first big books I remember reading as a
Hmm.
kid was The Hobbit. And then later on, I think I was in 8th grade, I picked up this very copy, this very volume of Lord of the Rings, and I read through all of it so quickly, and then I reread it,
Yeah.
and I couldn't put it down. Yeah, it's this very copy. These are all my notes that I have for our book club.
Yeah.
So these are all new additions. And just I loved it, and the movies were also very, very like they were. I was first like besides reading The Hobbit, I was then exposed to the Lord of the Rings through the films,
Hmm.
and I absolutely loved them. Read the book, just couldn't continue to read the book. Read the Silmarillion after that, and the Unfinished Tales. Got my hands on anything I could, um, and yeah, it's just what a beautiful world.
That's really awesome. When I first started watching your streams, I realized very quickly how much you love Lord of the Rings. It's I mean, a lot of your alerts are there, everything, it's very clear. And thank you for sharing that story, because I
Yeah.
didn't, I always wondered, what, when did Maple get involved with that? Um and you do the book club, right?
Yeah. It's been such a cool way to rediscover the book
Right.
again, because you get to not only are you reading it for yourself, like I'm reading it for other people who are not reading it,
Hmm.
and trying to discuss it, what the themes are, what the synopsis is, and try to make it interesting, for all of the viewers as well. Because I have guests as well who are also reading along with us, and we get together in Discord and we discuss it, what's happening, and it's so cool reading it very deeply, trying to figure out exactly what's happening in each chapter and reading them in like as a whole instead of a whole bunch of chapters to make up a story. We
Hmm.
look at each chapter individually. And it's a good deep dive. It really is.
What kind of perspective have you gotten since starting to read it with other people, or bringing other people into it? Have you gotten any fresh perspectives, or,
Yeah.
or other
I've
outlooks on it?
oh my god, so many. I've learned that when someone reads a book, it doesn't matter what messaging might be in that. What each person takes away from that book is completely separate and unique to themselves. Every single person will read a book differently and will
Hmm.
take different messages away. Like chapters, you'll have different favorite parts. What really spoke to you? Why did that speak to you? And people associate it with things that happened in their lives in ways that I would never imagine. And they take a passage that I thought meant one way, and when they read it and they describe how it made them feel, they take it a completely separate direction and just expands my mind and how people like read and connect with this book, and like all books, but specifically with this one, how people
Hmm.
connect with it. And it just fills me with so much joy being able to hear how other people read it, because I've read it and I know how I read it. And I was like, growing up, becoming older, you will also read it differently. So like it's just it's a good time.
Yeah. With you having done this with your community now, uh, when you kind of get through, the series, are you going are you going to start over, or are you going to do something different, or any thoughts on
I
that?
Yeah, we want to do The Hobbit next, and then we want to do the Silmarillion.
So you're just going
So
to go
there's
through them
still
all? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
I wanna go
that's
through them all. And then when we're done with, like, Tolkien, I would love to move on to a book series that I'm not nearly as attached to.
mm,
Find something new in a new book. I'm currently reading through the Dune series as well. So maybe a Dune book club? I don't know. It'd be hard to say. It'd be Man, I'm just excited. But I'm also I don't want my Lord of the Rings book club to end. I don't want it to.
right. Right. I think that's really awesome that you are actually doing a book club as part of your Twitch community. Um, what kind of things have come up from that? Have you gotten new community members specifically through
I
the book
have,
club?
yes.
Yeah.
I have. Um I've also met people who also do like Tolkien podcasts on Twitch, and getting to meet them. One of them, her name is Granki Gran on Twitch, and she literally wrote her doctorate on Tolkien.
Oh my
And
gosh.
we recently connected, and she's been a part of the book club as well, for a week now. And like she's been coming to book clubs as well, but she finally like joined Discord and joined it on the audio call
Hmm.
last week. It was fantastic to hear someone who literally has a doctorate on
That's
Tolkien. Like,
impressive. Yeah.
what?
Yeah. That has got to be really insightful, I'm sure, to hear what they have to say about that. That's
Oh yeah,
awesome.
but not just people that are like that have doctorates and are like very specialized on Tolkien. Like a whole bunch of other people just randomly came across it. They said, "Saw you were doing a podcast.
Hmm.
I also like Lord of the Rings." Or they come in, they see my Lord of the Rings alerts, and I tell them about book club. And they're like, "Oh my god, I'm so in." So I met a whole bunch of other people who really love Tolkien and the Lord of the Rings, and I got to meet them specifically through doing this, and it's been fantastic. I love it when I meet someone and they say, "You love Lord of the Rings?" Like, yes, I do. Let's I can talk about it.
I just love how excited you are about it, and that you're finding so many other people who are just as much so. And it's really cool that you're building this community, because I picture, Maple Creatures community where you have some people who are there for the gaming, some people who are there for Lord of the Rings, some people who are there, for Lego, which is how I started out being part of your community. But I hang out in your all the other streams too that you
Oh,
do,
thank you.
and you're welcome. I think it's really cool that you kind of have all these interests that you've been able to kind of blend together into your community. Um, how has that been for you in terms of like
It's
having all those different things going?
yeah. I think it's great. I like having a whole bunch of things to do, but also it's like do what you're passionate about.
Hmm.
That's what I've learned. Don't like I never thought in a million years that I would ever have a chance to talk with a whole bunch of people about Lord of the Rings on a weekly basis and deep dive into it with a whole bunch of other nerds who are just as into it as I am. And through Twitch, I was able to do that because that's what I'm passionate about. And you can do anything on Twitch if you're passionate about a thing. That's what we're doing here with Lego as well. So many people have met each other through the passion of Lego. Like, oh my God, I'm
Yeah.
just, what a world that we live in, man.
Yeah.
No, like, that's why I like to tell people, like, people always are like, do you think I can do streaming? Yes, of course you can do streaming. Are you passionate about something? Share it. Don't care what it is, share it.
Yeah. Do you get that often? Do you get people
Mhm.
asking you about
Yeah.
getting into streaming on Twitch?
Yes, I do. And I always tell them all you need is a computer, internet connection, and electricity.
Yeah.
That's all you need. You don't even need a computer. You can use your phone.
Yep.
You can use uh, a PlayStation,
Yeah.
a console,
A console.
a console.
Yeah.
No, technically those are all technically computers, but yes, I just
Yeah. Now more than ever too, especially
I
like
know.
when Twitch kind of became a thing years ago, there weren't so many ways to get into streaming. You pretty
No,
much
not
had
at
to have a
all.
computer and that was it. And
A
then,
beefy computer at
a
that
beefy,
to be able to
yeah,
play all the games because Twitch was just a
right.
place for games.
Right. And yeah, and now it's yeah, like you said, you can do it from your phone. Like the app itself goes straight to Twitch if you want to stream. You could do it from your PlayStation or your Xbox, and it's just one of those things that has the accessibility factor is far more than it was when it was just
Yeah.
getting started.
Oh man. I'm remembering one of the first podcasts that was actually done on Twitch before they had any other categories except for games
Mm,
was the co-optional podcast run by Total Biscuit,
yep.
and also featuring Dodger and Jesse often and also guests. And they
Hmm.
would have to be live on Twitch, you have to pick a category, but of course there was no just chatting or there was no podcasts. So they would randomly pick a game to be playing while they were doing their podcast. So like
Yeah.
Twitch has changed so much and I definitely for the better. And I'm just
Yeah.
so excited.
What is one of the greatest things that you think Twitch has incorporated in recent time?
Oh my goodness. That's a big question.
I know.
Ah, huh. I think one of the greatest things that they have added recently are the tags that you can add to your stream
Yeah.
to tell people who you are at an instant or a glance so that people can, when they're out looking for someone new to watch, they can specifically look for tags and find people in those tags. Like having the LGBTQIA plus tag has been amazing. I can say that my stream not only is safe for people who are LGBTQIA plus, but I can also say, hi, I'm also part of that community. Here's my ace flag. This is also a rug. So we can we can signal that immediately and be like, hey, this is a safe space. I recognize you. You're okay here. Stuff like that. Even like also like for Lego, we have the brick building tag as well. So if you're specifically looking for Lego, you can do that. You can find that. And I think that is an amazing feature that Twitch has added recently.
I agree completely. And actually, that's how I found so many. Like, that's how I found you. Actually, I was. It's funny because I clicked on brick building, and you were, was it Grogu? I think you were building at the time, potentially. Yes. I think that's when I found you. Yeah. Right here. And what's so great?
He's so cute.
He is. I found you through the brick building tag, and you were building Grogu, and it was, gosh, you were so welcoming. Aww. And just you made it so easy to just kind of get involved in your chat. And then I think the next time I showed up, I saw like 2 or 3 other people from the brick building community. Aww. And then next thing I know, like everyone that I knew in the brick building community was there. So the tags have done some really wonderful things, is what I'm getting at. And I'm glad that, you know, you were able to get into Lego on Twitch, and that you kind of got plugged into that whole community. What made you decide to start doing Lego while streaming? Was there anything that got you specifically into it?
This one. This is what got me into it. This one right here.
Yeah.
My father gifted it to me for Christmas.
Oh.
And he thought this would be a cool thing for you to do live on stream. And I said, Dad, that's such a good idea. Thank you. And I was so thankful because my sibling previously, a few years ago, got me, I don't know if you can see him. Other side.
Yeah.
Got me the BB-8.
That's so cool.
So now I have both droids. So Dad was like, here's your other droid for your collection. And I said, yeah. And then we started streaming building the beautiful R2.
That's really cool that your dad got you into it. You know what's funny is when I decided that I wanted to start building Lego again. Now this wasn't specifically for streaming, but the set that I ordered was R2D2.
Oh,
that was the first big set that I and the funny
R2
thing,
bringing people together.
I know. Well, what's hilarious is it got on back order at the time. And they're like, you know, I got the email from Lego that was like, you know, we're really sorry, this is on back order. We'll email you when it comes in. I'm like, oh no, I really wanted to build Lego. I got really excited. You know, I was looking at it on the website, and I mean, this is all separate from Twitch. I was streaming Variety as well at the time, and I was like, I just really wanted to build a huge Lego set. That was kind of one of my things, also because of the pandemic that got me into Lego. And so I ordered it. I got really excited that later that day I got the email that said it was on back order. Then I got really sad.
Oh no.
And then because I'm on the Lego website at the time, because I'm just browsing, I saw the Daily Bugle, the Spider-Man set.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, here we go. Am I gonna buy a second large set when I'm not even gonna get the first one anytime soon? Sure. And that's the one I ended up streaming first, but then I went right into R2D2. But
is that the one that's behind you?
Yeah.
On the shelf?
It's right here. The really tall one. The really tall one. And that's the haunted house next to it. And so it was actually the love for R2D2 that got me like thinking about it, and I ordered it. And then when I couldn't get it, I was like, well, I'm going to get this freaking Spider-Man set because I love Spider-Man too. I'm a big Spider-Man fan. And when it arrived, I was like, well, I may as well just stream this because this is going to be freaking cool. This is gonna be this is gonna be a huge set. I'm gonna build it on. I'm gonna do it live. And so that's kind of my quick origin story on Lego. But
I'm guessing you also had no idea that Lego was becoming such a huge thing on Twitch.
I didn't know either. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was,
I didn't know that you could do it.
yeah. Yeah. It's really fascinating. So I had met and I had learned about Lego streaming much earlier,
Oh,
almost
yeah.
almost 4 years ago.
Wow.
That was
Oh,
when
that's so cool.
Brick and Nick and Set to Build were the only two people that I really knew of that were doing it
Mhm.
as a regular thing. And I had found them just by clicking through, I think, Just Chatting at the time
Mhm.
or something like that. I can't remember what category. And I was like, oh, this is freaking awesome. But at the time, no one else was doing it.
Mhm.
And in my head, I didn't like, I think things could have gone very differently if I had the thought that I could have done
Right.
it, but I never made that connection. As like, oh, that's freaking cool. Back to variety gaming, because.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's cool that you got in through R2D2 and your dad having that thought.
Yeah.
That's just I think incredible.
Yeah. I'm gonna be able to have those memories forever, and I'm very happy.
So when you discovered Lego was a thing on Twitch,
Yeah.
what did you what like was that while you were streaming it? How you
Mhm.
figured it out, or was it kind of after the fact?
The entire reason that I knew that they were people streaming Lego is after I finished my day 1 build of R2, I set out to raid, but I wanted to see if anybody else was maybe also doing
Mm,
some Lego times.
mhm.
So I went looking, and the first stream it was very easy as, the fantastic Panfred Nudo was streaming Lego.
Oh,
I knew absolutely nothing about Fred or his community. I had absolutely no idea who any of these people were, but I was just like, "All right, chat, I know we don't know these people, but we're gonna go give them a raid. Let's
yeah,
go say hello and be as kind as possible." And we
yeah.
raid in. In the middle of a segment that Panfred is doing with his, red velvet.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing that I saw of him was him doing his red velvet,
Oh
which
my
for those who
god.
don't know,
Yeah.
it's a time.
His R&B he does the R&B shout out. He gets the voice changer going. He's got the really deep voice. And you watched the episode, but my favorite thing about that was him modeling it after the bridge in some Boys to Men songs, right? Where you got the really bassy guy coming in and talking, "Hey girl," and that's the whole thing the R&B shout out is built on. I'm so stoked that that's how you first experienced Fred when you raided into him, because mine
I was very
was
hesitant when I I was like, "What?
what is going
Interesting.
what is
Where
going
are we?
on?
What's happening? Is this, like, the whole thing? Oh my god."
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have R&B shout out, but my first experience was a nudo dance. I
Aw.
clicked into his channel while he was doing the nudo dance, and man, I love that your story starts with Fred in terms of like how you discovered other Lego streamers, because so many, like if you look at a lot of the contemporary people who are now streaming on Twitch, a lot of us have that same story where it's like, oh yeah, I found Panfred Nudo and he was doing an R&B shout out, or he was doing the nudo dance. That's heckin' amazing, because yeah, I love Fred. I
He's
love
so
Fred.
great. I enjoy his community so much. It's a really nice place to be.
It is.
He's also just such a kind and caring person.
Yeah, he actually encouraged me to do this show.
Aw.
He encouraged me to do this show. I
I'm
bounced
glad you're doing this show.
I bounced the idea off of him. And what was
Oh.
so funny, because I had him on my 24-hour stream for charity,
Yeah.
he and I just chatted while I was
Mhm.
building the Titanic, and we talked about it later. And he's like, I really enjoyed that. We should do that again soon.
Aw.
And I was like, I would love to do that. I was like, in fact, I would love to just talk to all of you people, all of you freaking awesome Lego people. He's like, you should do that. I was like, I'll think about it. And then like a month later, it's like, hey, you know that idea? He's like, yeah, you should do it. I was like,
Yes. I'm
And
glad you did.
I was like, funny thing you say that, Fred, because it just kind of came up organically. He's like, yeah, what about that thing? Are you going to do it? I was like, funny you should mention that because I'm going to try and do it. And I was
Oh,
literally having a conversation with Amish Ace about getting set up for the first episode. And then I was
mhm.
like, I also want you on there, Fred. And then
Yep.
that was episode 2. But I think that's just a great freaking story that your first Lego streamer you found was Panfred Nudo.
Doing the Red Velvet voice. And I stayed. I stayed.
Yeah. And then I'm sure through Fred you found other
Yeah.
streamers and
So
going
many, like,
forward.
everybody. I've like, oh my God. He was so welcoming. He was like, we also have all these other amazing Lego content creators.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. Yes. So
Yeah.
I followed everybody. And then slowly I got to meet everybody. And it's just, my heart is so full. My
Yeah.
heart is so full that I got to meet so many just, gosh, the Lego community is so unique. And I have been just wondrously blessed that I somehow managed to get into this, that somehow my father for a Christmas present got me R2D2 and said, "You should build it on stream." And I said, "Yes." And then we did, and then I raided into Fred. Like, all these things had to happen in order for me to meet all of you amazing humans, and I'm so glad that that happened.
We and there's a lot of us, right?
I know,
Isn't that
it's so
crazy?
good.
And there's
There's
more.
always there's always Lego to watch every day.
Yeah. And there's more and more. Like every so often I find a new person
Oh,
who's just
I love it.
getting started. And so a few of them I'm like, hey, use this tag really quick. Hey, use this
Yeah.
tag. uh with you doing Lego and Lord of the Rings and community game night and all all the other things that you do, um what kind of drives those choices in terms of like how do I what 4 or 5 things should I stream over this next couple weeks? Like what kind of drives those decisions?
Having a schedule is really easy because it helps make the choices. So Sundays I have book club. I know that I'm doing that.
Hmm.
Every other Tuesday I do Lord of the Rings online with some other amazing heckin' ladies, Trash Kitty Six, Holly Huckleberry, and Owl Government, who are all fantastic women, and I'm so glad that we get to be together and play this game. One of my
Hmm.
favorite games of all time. So that happens every second Tuesday. Wednesdays is Lego time. Thursday, probably a variety game night. Friday is community night. Saturday's probably variety game night. So it builds itself.
Schedules.
Schedules.
Schedules are great.
They are great. Yeah.
What if there's something you decide that you want to add to the rotation?
Then I do it.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
just
happened
do
with,
it.
I started with community night. That's all I had was Fridays we do community night. And
Uh-huh.
then I added a book club. And then we
Mm.
added Lego. And then well we previously there was also Lord of the Rings online every second Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
So so yeah. It just keeps adding and I love it. It's so good. I have a few days left that I could add to the
Yeah,
rotation.
I was going to say there's more days in the week, Maple.
I have the other second Tuesday. I
Uh-huh.
have Thursday and Saturday. So I've got technically 2.5 days that I could technically add more to if I wanted to.
That's I mean, just going through the list of things that you have, it's
Oh
a
yeah,
nice
days off are also on rotation. Yeah, I try to take Mondays off. I
good.
try.
I'm so
I try.
glad.
I try.
I'm so glad. Naming everything off, I was like, that's a good like chunky schedule. There's a lot going on. There's definitely different things to look forward to. Do you ever kind of deal with any kind of burnout or any kind of yes?
Yes. I'm a big advocate for mental health, and
Yeah.
I got that good old combination of clinical depression and anxiety.
Mm.
So you gotta take care of it, or else things get out of hand. And it happens. I get so passionate about this. I don't want to stop.
Yeah.
Until I don't think about mental health too much, and then I am forced to stop, and I have to take breaks, and it sucks. And I wish I was better at controlling my passion, so I could just slow down a bit sometimes. And I'm scared of like losing momentum, or I'm scared if I stop doing it, I will never get back into it, because that's the kind of person I am. If I
Mm-hmm.
drop something, I will not get back to it. So I'm so worried, like if I stop streaming,
Mm-hmm.
what if I just stop forever? So I'm so worried about that. Like, oh no, if I put it down, I'll never pick it up again. So
Yeah.
it's just a constant, gotta keep going, or else I won't do it again.
Yeah.
And I know that's an irrational fear,
Yeah.
but it's a fear all the same.
I think that is completely normal. You know, as someone who has done different things on Twitch a lot myself, I have that same fear.
Yeah.
How do you deal with it?
It's forcing yourself to take breaks and understanding that if you're passionate about it, you will get back to it. And just trying to tell your bad brain that, no, brain, you're being bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bad irrational brain. It's okay. And just trying to remind yourself that. It's hard. There are days where just reminding yourself that it doesn't work. But you just, I don't know, trust the process.
Yeah. Trust the process. I agree.
You got to take days off. It's really important, or else you'll be forced to take days off, and that's not okay either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you get into a lot of discussions about mental health with your chat?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes we talk about it quite a bit, especially like with this whole pandemic thing. There's been a lot of, my goodness, just a lot of people realizing that maybe things weren't okay before
Yeah.
the pandemic. Now that we're in it with our mental health crisis that we're going through, that maybe things aren't great right now. It's just the availability of psychiatrists and therapists, not only their ability, but also your ability to, because a lot of people are in America, to pay for them.
Yeah.
As they are an expensive commodity that not a lot of people can get help for. Even like medications, very expensive.
Yep.
And just, it's hard. It really is. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
But having other people there to at least talk to and know that like we're all kind of going through this together, it helps a lot.
Yeah. What would you say to someone in your community that's struggling with something like that?
I would say to reach out. Reach out to anybody. People care. People really care about you. And it's horrible right now. And
Yeah.
it's the worst, but I promise it will get better. There are a whole bunch of helplines. I know it sounds so cliche, but there are hotlines to call if you are in a really bad place.
Yeah.
And if you just need someone to talk to, we even have a mental health channel in our Discord. If you just need just to type something into the void and know that somebody out there will read it, we have that there. And just it'll get better.
Well said. I'm glad that you do that. I'm glad that you do that for your community. It's definitely hard, right? You know, we're still, you know, since 2020, it's just been, I feel like it's been one thing after another, you know?
Oh yeah. But we keep on going on, and every day that you wake up is a victory. And you just gotta keep going to the next day.
Yeah.
And I hope that if at anything, I'm able to help provide at least a little bit of distraction or a little bit of comfort on one of those days. So that's the best thing I can hope for.
I agree. I do. I mean, among the many reasons why I stream, that is a big one. And now, you know, people out there who are listening know that they can find the same in your community.
Yeah. We don't judge based on anything, sexual orientation, gender, mental illness. You're all welcome, and it's okay. Sorry, my cat is at the door. I'm so sorry.
No,
what a moment.
Okay.
My cat is at the door.
It's okay. Mine does that too sometimes. What inspires you? What inspires you, like, when it comes to doing what you do on Twitch?
Oh my goodness. That's That's the question. What inspires me?
Or
Oh my
who,
goodness.
or, it could be anything. What or who?
I don't know.
That's
I
okay
don't know.
too. That's also okay.
What inspire I don't know.
Yeah.
I genuinely, I don't know. What inspires you?
Good tactic. That was really good. Oh my god. Flipped it around. Okay. Uh well, a lot of the things that got me really going on Twitch, which you got to be a part of, actually, is charity work. So charity work really has inspired a lot of what I've done on Twitch. One of my first really big streams, after like really kind of dipping my toe into it, I did a couple test streams playing like League of Legends. And my what I would consider my first real stream, which, man, I don't recommend this to anyone, was a 24-hour charity stream for Extra Life.
Yes.
And so for me, what inspires me is the ability to do something that I'm passionate about. In that case, it was video games and gaming. In the case of the charity work we've done recently, it was Lego. But taking something that I'm really passionate about and I enjoy, and kind of turning around and doing something really good with that
Yeah.
by fundraising for a lot of, really important things, whether it's humanitarian aid to Ukraine or a children's hospital or cancer research. That's what I think that's what keeps me continuing to push that button to stream in general, is knowing that with the community and the people that I've connected with on Twitch, we can do some good, which is really, I think, what continued to inspire me to do that. This show, what inspires me to do this, are people like you, and learning your stories, and figuring out what it is that allows you to do the things that you do on Twitch. So yeah, that's what inspires me.
Okay, I think I have an answer now that I was able to
Okay.
listen to you and bounce some ideas around in my head.
Yeah.
You all inspire me.
Yeah.
Every single one of you. You inspire me to be better every day, to make every stream as good of a stream as I can make it. Some are better than others, but it's you guys who inspire me. And it sounds so dumb and cliche. And as I'm saying this, I'm realizing it's like, oh wow, you're inspired by the people. Yes,
you're
I
breathtaking.
am.
You're the one. Yeah, I get it.
This is Kaylee, by the way.
Oh, that is freaking adorable.
Thank you for the kisses. But yes, no, and it's, she inspires me. Yes, I want to provide a beautiful, beautiful cat house that you can live in and have all of your wishes fulfilled.
Yeah.
You can be as fuzzy and beautiful as you can be.
That's a great answer.
I mean, this fuzzy baby is heckin' adorable.
It is. It's oh, it's nuzzling. Oh, with that, I guess, how do I say this? What would you have told MapleCreature, who started on this Twitch journey during the pandemic? Like, if you had an opportunity to talk to yourself, or clue yourself in on what's to come when it comes to, Twitch, your channel, your community, or just the stuff that you've been involved in as of late, what would you say to her?
You have no idea what's going to be happening. It's going to be beautiful. You're going to be the best friends you'll ever make in your entire life. It's going to be hard. There are going to be really hard days, but it's so worth it. And don't give up, because it's been fantastic so far.
that's a good that's a that's some good advice.
I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. You're okay. You're okay. To parallel off that, or to kind of go into that same thing, what kind of advice would you give to someone who is trying to get into streaming or content creation, or who's trying to figure out and navigate this world of Twitch?
Yeah, I would say do what you're passionate about. Like literally, like I have a passion for Lord of the Rings, so I started a Lord of the Rings book club. Are you passionate about history? Maybe you should do like a history channel where you go over like important things that you think about in certain aspects of history. Do you like cooking? There's a whole section on Twitch just for cooking. You can do cooking streams. Are you passionate about gardening? You can do plant stuff on stream. Like you can make plants. You can do that. Are you a person who likes to do art? Are you a drawer? Do you like knitting? Like what do you like to do? And just expand on that.
And do it.
You can do anything. Absolutely anything. There's a place for it on Twitch, and I think that that's absolutely beautiful.
Well, you heard it here, folks. If you're thinking about doing something on Twitch, just do it.
Do it.
Find something you're passionate about.
Yeah. I know it's so hard to get started.
Yeah.
Like reaching affiliate, like it's so hard. It is so freaking hard to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. There's definitely luck. There's always going to be aspects of luck when it comes to like getting your first ever raid, having people come into your stream randomly being like, I was browsing and saw you. It's like, how does that happen? There is no discoverability on this platform. Like, it's true. It's incredibly lucky. Just make friends. Yeah. Make friends is all I can say. Like, don't network, make friends, and get involved in their streams and meet people in their communities and get to know them and have actual genuine friendships, because then if like that's all it takes is just luck and friendship. As dumb as that is.
Yeah.
Got some luck, you got some friendship. You can do it.
I don't think it's dumb. I think it's very true.
I know, but it just sounds so cliche.
I mean, yeah, I suppose. But I would say that with all the things that I've done on Twitch myself, it wasn't until I really, found the people that I could really connect with.
Yeah.
It wasn't until then that I realized that, I was actually really also enjoying everything about Twitch and the communities on it. Was when I really started to feel connected to the Freds and the Aces, everyone out there, including you. And so I don't think it sounds dumb. I think it's perfectly well said.
Okay. Yes, luck, friendship, and the magic you made along the way. Let's go.
Let's go. How you feeling?
I'm good. I cry all the time. It's become honestly part of the joke is that I will cry nearly every stream. I feel things deeply, and I don't think there's any shame in trying to hide that or mask it or push it down. And I implore everybody, if you feel something, to just feel it.
Yeah.
Because it's important. It's what makes us human.
I mean, you got me tearing up over here too,
so
it's okay. It's okay to feel things. It's okay to feel.
I know a lot of people deal with a whole bunch of things that they're told as, young children, boys don't cry, big girls don't cry. Oh my God, can we step away from that and be like, excuse me, you're a human being, you're allowed to feel things. Don't push your emotions down, please. Let's stop doing that. I don't care if you're a big burly man. It's okay to feel upset and to cry.
Yeah.
It's okay to have your emotions shown.
Yeah.
It hurts me the most when I see people say that they have to repress their emotions. It hurts me so deeply. And I want people to know that it's okay. And it's genuinely the best thing is when you can be yourself and not be like repressing your feelings of sadness because it's not manly.
Yeah. I grew up with that upbringing.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I got that.
I bet that was really hard.
Yeah. It definitely was. It definitely was. Which is so funny because I have 4 sisters.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and a lot of them very emotional people. So I grew up knowing that, you know, experiencing emotions is normal, but I also got the message of, but except for you, you can't do that. So
know that I know it's hot button term, but it's literally the toxic masculinity that is baked in our system.
Yeah.
And I hate it so much. That's one of the things like people are like, oh, toxic masculinity is a thing. It's like, yeah, well then why can't we just cry?
Yeah. Yeah. I never saw my dad cry.
Oh.
For most of my life. So
that's really hard when a parent is the people who tell you how to live, how to be. They inspire you to be the human that you grow into. It is literally baked into our DNA to mimic what our parents do.
Yeah.
I'm glad you were able to open up and come to realize that it's okay.
Yeah. I learned that very quickly.
Good.
When I left home.
Let us cry.
It's okay. Let us cry. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
So what's in the future for MapleCreature and in our community?
Good questions. Honestly, probably a lot of the same. I want to continue to do Lego. I want to continue to do book club. I really want to continue like once we're done with Tolkien, I want to move on to another series. I don't know what that's going to be yet, but like maybe something like Dune or another like very influential book series that tells us a lot about like our current day and just like, man, Dune is going to be perfect for that, I think.
Yeah.
I want to continue to do charity work as well. We've done 2 24-hour charity live streams so far, and I want to continue to do them.
Yeah.
I absolutely love charity live streams. We did the first one we did was for the Trevor Project, and the second one we did was for Planned Parenthood. And I want to keep doing those because finding a group of people that are able to come together and do good, it's the best thing.
Yeah,
it truly is. I know you understand that as well because you do charity work as well too. And it's just, I would love to do another 24-hour charity live stream. I think that's just the best.
Yeah. There's an energy there when you're in the middle of those things.
Yeah.
That is always just because those things are always a lot of work for streamers. You know, if you're not, those that are listening not really familiar, there's always a ton. I mean, this is true for streams in general. There's a ton of work that you all don't see that goes into the stream, but particularly charity streams. So with that said, you do all this work, but then like you're in it and you're doing the stream and you're doing some good and making people aware of the cause that you're fundraising for. There's just some energy there that's always, I don't know, I always leave those feeling so much better, you know, having done something. So I do look forward to more Maple charity streams.
I'm excited.
I've enjoyed the ones I've seen of yours so far, so I can't wait for more. Do you know when you want to do those, or are you just kind of?
I have no idea. I'd probably figure something out for the future. I do not have any concrete plans, but I know that I want to.
That's good enough for me.
I'm sorry, I don't have a date and time at a charity. I really like researching the charities that I fundraise for because I really want to make sure that's an actual good one and it isn't, you know, So I spent so much time researching the Trevor Project. I went into like all of like the different, like, you can look on websites to look at how good is this charity. Went
Yeah.
through all that. I went like all through their marketing, all that stuff before I decided, all right, this is a good charity. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
Same thing with Planned Parenthood. It was very important for me, and that was during the when they were first trying to repeal all of the protection afforded by Roe v. Wade,
Yeah.
which is currently it still is being fought right now, and it is so upsetting.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm glad you're doing the footwork though with like your charity work, which is something I highly recommend. If any of you out there get involved with charity work, definitely.
There are some not good ones. There are some that they pretend to do good, or they do mostly good, but then they also line the pockets of the people who found the companies.
Yeah.
So it's always important to go look and see what their salaries are.
Yeah. Do your research.
Go look at the salaries of the people who are at the top there, how much they take home, because it tells you a lot about the charity, about how much the CEO takes home.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually really good advice. That's one of the things I learned over time that helps you kind of make those decisions, and it definitely has helped me steer clear of a couple.
Yep. So that's the big advice I would give for if you want to do a charity live stream.
Yeah.
Look into the company first.
Yeah.
It's very important. It's the biggest decision you can make, and it is very important. So don't take it lightly. Even if you think like I've heard this charity is great and amazing, they do great work. Look into it anyway.
Yeah, do the legwork.
Look into it anyway.
Yeah. If you were, talking to someone who is wanting to get into charity streaming, what other tips would you give someone who is like, hey, I want to do some good, and then you tell them how to research into charities? What else would you tell them?
Well, if they want to do a 24-hour stream, I highly recommend breaks.
Yeah.
Get yourself breaks, and not just breaks to get up and go off camera. Breaks to get up and move around. Do squats, do push-ups, do something to get your blood going, because not only will it help you be less tired, it'll give you a little bit of extra energy just to keep pushing through. That's one of the things that I scheduled all of my breaks. I had a big Excel spreadsheet, and I took down every single half hour what was happening during the entire time. And I always stayed close to those breaks. I always tried to be as best as I could about getting up and moving around, because you don't want to fall asleep on camera. That's the worst thing you could do. You do not want to do that.
Yeah.
That's not a cute look.
Yes,
it's not a cute look.
No.
And also just look like, and don't, like, I know it's for charity, but don't think about the numbers. Like it always feels so weird to me to be like, what is going to be our goal? I always aim low, because I never want to be like, I expect you guys to give money to charity. So I always set it like, I don't know, maybe we'll raise $500. Even if we do, that's fantastic. That is my goal. I love it. And then people will smash those goals, and I'm continually blown away by that. But I hate being like, oh yes, today we'll raise $20,000. No, I don't expect that of it. Like, no.
Yeah. That's good advice. That's good advice for sure. Set a reasonable goal. Go ahead.
And also a whole bunch of really fun donation incentives.
Yeah.
Donation incentives are great. Even if they do not like dumb things like yelling people's names. That's one thing that I did for the Ukraine one, was like, for $5, I will scream your name. Like that costs me nothing.
Yeah.
But it's a fun thing to do. So there you go. For $5, I could scream your name.
You inspired me with that one. I added that one because of you.
Yay.
It's a good one.
It's fun. It's fun. Let's see. Also, like, incorporate stuff that you can do. Like, are you a creative person? Is there anything that you do that is creative? You can do, like, once the stream is over, I will like commission you a drawing piece or some art piece, or maybe like a Lego dot set. I don't know. You could do something like that. Yeah. I'm not really an artistic person, but I am a fan of Tolkien. So one of the donation incentives I made was, I will translate your name into Elvish.
Oh, that's so cool. That's
so
great.
Just like, be creative with your donation incentives. It doesn't have to be, I'll do a Bean Boozle and dye my hair. Those are great. but there's so much more you can do to make it more personal for you
Mm-hmm.
and like your community. Maybe there's like a meme in your comment or in your I can speak very good. Maybe there's a meme in your community that like you're known for or that
Mm-hmm.
happens on stream. Maybe make that a donation incentive that you'll do the thing.
Yeah,
Something like that. Yeah.
that's great
Those are
advice.
the tips I've got.
Yeah,
Plan your meals as well. Have a meal plan beforehand. Have your meals
yeah,
either pre-made, already in the fridge, or like those microwave dinners, and just have them and
yeah.
eat, please. Also, no alcohol at all until like the very end. Alcohol will make your trip hell. Do not do it. It is not worth it. Only wait until like the last couple hours, maybe.
Yeah.
Alcohol is literally a depressant and will make you tired and sleepy. That's the exact opposite of what you want. Try to avoid sugar as well. As much as you can, avoid sugar during this time. Definitely focus on, your regular, your carbs, your proteins, and your fats. Try
Yeah.
to avoid actual sugar, especially like sugary drinks. Yeah, there we go.
100%. No, those are all great tips. Those are all really good.
Hi, Shiloh.
Shiloh found you.
Apparently. Hello.
Well, now that you've had the crossing the streams experience, who would you like to see do this next? Or who would you like to see be on this show?
I don't know how feasible this is, and I've been thinking about the whole time.
Yeah.
I would love to see Jang in the hot seat.
Hmm.
I know he's super heckin' busy,
Yeah.
but it would be so interesting to see him on this stream. It'd be so cool.
Yeah.
I would absolutely love that. But I know he's like super busy, and his schedule is insane.
Yeah.
But maybe one day.
Yeah. Maybe.
I think that'd be cool because like he's been doing Lego for years and years.
Yeah.
Huge backlog of just videos. So many of them of Lego. Like he's fantastic. I would love to hear his stories.
Yeah. There's so many hours of content just simply from what he's done on YouTube alone, not to even mention Twitch. But
Right.
yeah. Okay, Jang.
It'd be interesting to pick his brain and to have him in the hot seat.
Yeah. Jang's a good one. Definitely. So, where can people find MapleCreature on the internets?
Oh my goodness. You can find me at twitch.tv/MapleCreature. I'm also MapleCreature on Twitter and on Instagram. And those are generally the most frequent places that I frequent. Good with words. Thank you.
Yeah.
You can find me there. If it's MapleCreature, it's most likely me. It might not be me. It might be a scam bot. So just watch out.
Like the one that followed me on Instagram.
Yeah.
A while back.
That was the time.
Well, you'll find MapleCreature on Twitch, Instagram, Twitter.
Where can people find you?
Where can people find? People can find me on Twitch as well. Twitch.tv/Amor.
Wow.
Yeah, it's real easy. Real easy.
If you're Canadian, More is not spelled with a U. I made that mistake.
That's true. MOREAMOR. I've gotten more Amor AMOUR, like you said there, and then I've gotten with an E at the end, more Amore.
Yes.
I've gotten more armor before,
yes,
so
I can see that.
all things. But yeah, more Amor, MOREAMOR. Man, it's been such a pleasure having you on here, Maple.
Oh, thank you. It was awesome being able to chat.
It was great. Do you have any parting words for anyone who's listening to this or watching this later?
Yeah. You are all glorious, beautiful beings. Every single one of you, you're a glorious human being. And I am so grateful that you're all here, listening, watching. You're radiant, fantastic people. And just keep on going. You're going to do great. My dog also had some parting words too.
Well, thank you, Maple. Thank you again. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.